Bilkis Bano speaking to India Today a little earlier. India Today's relentless coverage and focus on justice for Bilkis Bano, a conversation that Rajdeep Sardesai had with Bilkis, pleading for justice at that point before the Supreme Court's verdict. Here's what she had said.
15 साल में हमको बहुत दुख झेलना पड़ा। कितनी बार घर बदला हमने, और छोटे छोटे बच्चे को लेके सामान इधर उधर करो, बहुत सारी तकलीफें हमको हुई है।
और 15 साल में कभी ऐसा लगा आपको कि शायद मुझे न्याय नहीं मिलेगा, जिन्होंने मेरे खिलाफ ये अत्याचार किया है वो रिहा हो जाएंगे, वो बच जाएंगे? कभी ऐसा लगा कि सिस्टम जो है उसमें मेरे लिए कोई जगह नहीं है? कभी उम्मीद आपने छोड़ी थी?
नहीं, मैंने उम्मीद नहीं छोड़ी थी, क्योंकि हमारे इतने सारे, मेरे परिवार को मार दिया, मेरी बेटी को मार दिया, तो कैसे उम्मीद छूटेगी?
लेकिन अभी भी आप कहती हैं आपको बदला नहीं चाहिए था। आप नहीं चाहती थी कि जिन्होंने ये किया आपके खिलाफ, उन पर आप बदले की भावना से नहीं कर रहे थे, आपको केवल न्याय चाहिए था।
हाँ, न्याय चाहिए।
यानी क्या चाहिए था? कि ये लोग जेल में रहें, हाँ, उनको सजाए मौत हो, क्या चाहिए था?
वो लोग जेल में रहे, उनको ऐसा याद आवे कि आज हमारे गांव के लोग कितने परेशान थे और हमने कैसे कैसे मारा है माँ बहनों को, बच्चे को।
इन 15 सालों में आपने मुझसे अभी कहा कि आपको घर घर भटकना पड़ा। हाँ। एक घर से कितने घर बदलने पड़े?
बहुत घर बदलने पड़े, 15-20।
डर के मारे?
डर के मारे, क्योंकि जो आरोपी थे हमारे केस के, उनको बार बार पैरल मिलती थी, वो आते थे, मीटिंग करते थे वहाँ पे, हमारे जो लोग रह रहे गांव के, उनको डराते थे और मेरे पर भी दबाव डालते थे। वो आके कहते थे मुझे कि तेरे को ऐसा कह रहे, ऐसा कह रहे।
वो चाहते थे कि आप केस वापस ले।
हाँ, वापस ले।
आज क्या कहेंगी आप, कैमरा को देखे, हमारे नेताओं को? क्योंकि हमारे बड़े बड़े नेता बड़े भाषण करते हैं, कहते हैं सबका साथ सबका विकास होगा। बिल्किस बानो, आज क्या कहना चाहेगी आप नेताओं को? क्या चाहेंगी आप? इस देश में क्या चाहेगी?
इस देश में हमारे साथ जो हुआ है वो कभी हम इस देश में नहीं होना चाहिए और किसी के साथ भी नहीं होना चाहिए।
बस यही प्रार्थना आप करती है कि किसी और के साथ ये होना नहीं चाहिए,
और जिसके साथ हुआ है उसको इंसाफ मिलना चाहिए।
All right. Well, really sad to hear that Bilkis Bano was threatened, heckled over the years, has shifted multiple homes to stay safe. Despite all the pressure, she still continued her fight. Nalini is with us, joining us from the newsroom. Nalini, if you could, how could one really compensate on the struggles that Bilkis Bano has been through, despite fighting for justice, briefly getting justice? Those convicts have served prison time, but repeatedly, while they were out on parole, she claims that she was heckled, threatened, her family was pressurized, and then eventually her wildest and darkest fears come true with the Gujarat government announcing remission for all 11 of those convicts. They were out and free for a year and a half.
Well, in fact, Nabila, Bilkis Bano had told Supreme Court that she was not even consulted by the Gujarat government before this decision was taken as to whether or not they should be released. And considering that they are part of the same village, she actually feared for her life as something that she had argued before the Supreme Court. But just to get you a quick breaking update about what the Supreme Court just said, the convicts have been given a time of 2 weeks to surrender and go back to prison. The Supreme Court's categorically said, because the order is still being pronounced, and our colleague Kanu Sada is getting us all the updates from inside the court, the Supreme Court's categorically said that within the next 2 weeks, all of these 11 men that had been released by the Gujarat government in an illegal arbitrary order need to surrender and they need to go back to prison, because only when they are in prison can they make a request before the Maharashtra government to grant them remission. They need to be in prison to get remission, and considering that the orders that had ordered for their release were not legal, were not valid in law, they cannot continue to be out and about in the society anymore. The Supreme Court's gone into aspects of individual liberty. They've said that it is very rare that an order that has granted somebody liberty is overturned, but considering in this case the order granting liberty was illegal in itself, and along with that even the May 22 judgment of the Supreme Court that was obtained by playing fraud upon the court was also arbitrary and invalid in law. Keeping this in mind, an order of liberty has to be overturned. So the Supreme Court has gone out of its way to ensure that all of these 11 convicts go back to the prison, they go back behind the bars, and that justice is served to Bilkis Bano, because that is what she has been fighting with before the Supreme Court, not only on the aspect of remission, but even earlier on the aspects of compensation that she had got, and the compensation that the Gujarat government was supposed to give her. So it's been a long-standing fight for Bilkis Bano. Surely she'll heave a sigh of relief once this order is overturned. But of course, that's the same thing that we thought the last time around when her case had ended and she'd come back to the Supreme Court with this case. So it remains to be seen what happens in the months ahead, because the convicts will approach and exhaust every legal remedy available to them to try and ensure that they can come out if possible at all.
Thanks very much, Nalini, for breaking that down for us. The Supreme Court is just about delivering its verdict on the case. So, for now, it appears that Bilkis Bano has got temporary relief, because the fight will continue as these convicts have been directed to approach the Maharashtra government if they want to walk out free. It's not in the jurisdiction of the Gujarat government to allow for remission. The convicts have now been given 2 weeks' time to surrender and return back to prison. So the legal battle there for Bilkis Bano still continues.